A pollution of sound rattles every inch of the city. With a population of 5,000 foreigners, the city is booming with dance, music, and culture. The scent of the explosives infuses the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Rio Carnival is not only the biggest carnival in the world, it is a cultural infrastructure in an ordinary city that increases cultural profile and attracts international elites, audiences, and social development. The main parade of Rio Carnival is at the Sundrome, a massive concrete stadium-like structure which translates to the Stadium of Samba. It was designed by Brazil's world's famous architect and modernist Oscar Niemeyer. Built in 1984, it cost nearly $24 million. For many, its concrete stadium feels lost, surrounded by only favelas. For the community, the structure represents politics' lack of interest in the city. Although the structure serves smaller events during the year, it does little to accommodate the needs of the community situated around the stadium. Public funds are devoted to the preparation and implementations of large-scale social events, like Rio Carnival and the 2006 Olympics. In addition to socio-economic growth, these events allow for social renewal. Though the restructuring is welcomed by many, it is responsible for the increase of inequalities by easily turning to evacuation, affecting poor minorities that are socially classified as the slum dwellers. In many cities around the world, the fantasies of modernity were fed by the dynamic physical fabric and daily experiences of the city form itself. But in some cities, the excitement of modern urban form and design were almost drowned out by anxieties relying on borrowed ideas, about importing materials, about betraying local culture forms and economic realities. Jennifer Robinson, Ordinary Cities. The reality of inequality is due to the fast urbanization process following the 20th century in Brazil that was never enforced by public policies such as housing, sanitation, education, and health. To understand how social global events impact space, it is important to measure how economic power produced by tourism is distributed. The carnival structure is in the middle of a rundown district surrounded by poor quality public space. Development plans for the area are pending on an urban renewal project that would strengthen the community. Investment proposals are being considered. However, the reality is that most public investments thus far have contributed to greater segregation and increased disparities that have caused physical and social exclusion. A key obstacle to overcoming poverty in Brazil is not lack of resource, but its unequal distribution.
Cities develop a strategy in which the creation of the image of the city has an important role. The laws of production have become obsolete, and that consumption, symbolic exchange, simulations, and signs instead are what is important. Anne Halia, 1997. The Statue of Liberty stands as a symbol which, as Emma Lazarus puts it, beckons the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. It was first assembled in 1886 and designed by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. It was a gift from the French nation as an honor towards the goals of liberty and equality that bound the two nations together. However, this symbol over the centuries has changed to stand as a tribute to America's incoming immigrant population, inspiring contemplation, capitalism, debate, protest, as well as maintaining her main roots such as liberty, peace, human rights, democracy, and opportunity. These symbols attached to our mother of exiles undoubtedly extend to New York City and its populace, where, under these old guiding symbolic principles, has developed into a world-leading economy and an epitome of urban life. Today, there is no denying that New York City is a landscape of power. Skyscrapers from the Rockefeller Center to the United Nations headquarters flank and declare the city an elite local and international corporate player. In fact, as of 2005, New York's economic output sums up to $1.1 trillion, only second behind Tokyo. The municipal government and business elites are aware of these symbolic attributes New York City exuberates, and so they enact zoning laws and invest into the city's real estate in order to sustain this legacy. In order to upkeep its economic successes, cities with as much popularity and legacy as New York must, as Sharon Zukin presents to us, build an infrastructure that attracts and retains world-class financial actors. That must include advanced telecommunication facilities, a computer-literate workforce, and new skyscraper office buildings that lift urban identity from the modern to the spectacular. The interrelated effects of economic structure, institutional intervention, and culture reorganization are most directly perceived in change in the landscape. What the New York City landscape communicates aesthetically are the principal ideas of liberty and opportunity that were first surfaced by the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and then commemorated a century later by the Statue of Liberty in 1886. Today, the result of these elements of freedom are New York City's global economic power and worldwide business relations.